Hi everybody, welcome back. Today is Tuesday. Let me trying to work my screen. My phone's really super slow. Try to get more brightness to this if I can. Okay. Sorry, I was messing with the other part of the phone, trying to get it brighter. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, um, everybody's talking about the Francis Scott Bridge. Oops, let me turn it down this way. The Francis Scott Bridge, Key Bridge in Baltimore. It got struck by that big cargo uh, ship, right? Okay, so I still got to figure out a little bit more about the ship. So that happened on March 26th, right? 2024. Well, Francis Scott, he's the one who created the Star Spangled Banner. Now, go back to February 11th to the Super Bowl. Allegiant Stadium in Paradise. Now, your allegiance, right? You got your allegiance. So my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. The allegiance, right? Paradise would be United States, the land of the free. Okay, the Star Spangled Banner. Let's see, maybe I wrote it on this guy's channel. I did. I wrote it right here. Super Bowl, allegiance, and then I wrote National Star Spangled Banner, Francis Scott Key Bridge. Remember, key is also chi, is the X, just like two keys laid up against each other. And we're also in the year of X, in the year of the dragon. Okay, so let me read this to you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? By the dawn's early light. Now, this Baltimore incident happened just right before dawn's early light. It happened in the morning, so you can see, the sun coming up over the thing. So it happened in dawn. Dawn means early morning. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. I think it's over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare. Interesting, the lunar eclipse last night. It was interesting because the moon was red, like a blood red moon, and then the red heifer, the red heifer sacrifice for Israel is supposed to be this Friday through Saturday, the Sabbath. Okay, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does our star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and come home and the home of the brave? Okay, so I could have said it better, but I'm just reading through it. So remember the Super Bowl, we just had it, the Allegiance of Paradise, right? Oh, what was this other guy saying? There was another guy saying something. I'm not sure if it was on this one or not. Who's? Oh, I think I have it on my channel on Facebook. I think I copied and pasted it. I did. This other guy wrote on one of the comments, Francis Scott Key observed the British bombardment of Fort McHenry in 1814 during World War of 1812. He was inspired upon seeing the American flag still flying over the fort at dawn and wrote the poem, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And then he wrote Revelations 18, verse 2 and 11. Now, what I want to show you here is that we see it's the bridge, right? It's the bridge that's collapsed. It's so interesting because it's a steel bridge. When it fell, it looked like it was just, look, it's just a crumbled mess, which is really surprising. It's a mile-long bridge, and it's made out of, I mean, for something that big that goes through there all the time, it's just so interesting that it collapsed like that. But I think there's a reason for that too. So now let's jump over to the Super Bowl. Now, that was February 11th. Now, what I want to show you about this, I wanted to show you, or did I want to show you anything about that? Let's go over here, John 2:20. It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you will rise it up in 3 days. So it's like a question mark. Here's another verse of it. They replied, it has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you are going to raise it up in 3 days. Very interesting. So when we look at the bridge was opened on March 23rd, 1977. Now you take, so for 46 years, you go 1978 because it was opened then, so you got to go a year more. So 1978 minus 2024 is 46 years. And then when you rise it up in 3 days, 3 days later is the 26th, right? Oh, isn't this trippy? Tell me what you think about this, because how this world is playing out is so scripted and a parable like a riddle, something that we have to research and solve. So when I was looking at Interstate 695, because that's the bridge, Interstate 695. So interstate is usually identified as I, the letter I, and then 695. So I was like, oh, what come to my mind? I was like, oh, Greek. 6th letter is Z, the 9th letter is I, the 5th letter is Z, or E, right? Z. Well, Z is the 14th letter in Greek. It's like, it looks like a bridge, right? With brackets, and it's got an I, but it actually shows it going this way. But I'll show you the symbol here. And it's XI. Where was the other XI that I was looking at? XI equals 11. 11's like a pillar, that type of thing. And February 11th, right? You have the 11th right there as when the Super Bowl started. And then I think it was February 10th. I think it was February 10th, right before the day before the Super Bowl was the year of the dragon. Okay. So, let me show you in the Greek alphabet. Let's pull this one up. So if you look right here, see they got it going this way. So think of these brackets as a bridge, and the I is the interstate. Pretty interesting, right? And it's XI for Z. There's another wording, ZIE, and see, and look at this. And the X is chi, XI. Geez, such a trip, right? So if you got the X, and we're already talking about, 2024, we're already 24. In English, I think the 24th letter is X, but in Hebrew, or in Greek, it's the 22nd letter, and in Hebrew, it's the last letter, the 22nd letter, which is an X, means Tav. So, these different alphabets, I think, is what God's also trying to get us to look at as well. And instead of us just knowing English, remember I was telling you about the English alphabet? The value of A in English is 6. This would be 6 times 2 would be 12. So the value of B is 12. And then 6 times 3 for actually A, B, C. So C is 18. It goes that way. So whatever 6 times whatever letter it is in the English alphabet. So remember I was telling you about 666. Beware of 6 of man or whatever. And then you got man's English alphabet is a value of 6. You've got man, who is considered 6. You've got the 6th letter in Hebrew, which is Vav, and Vav means hook. So it's like we're hooked on English, and the world is pretty much hooked on English. Certain other countries have stayed the same, but notice how they always push English everywhere. And even in the British, like Australia and stuff, they push English everywhere. What else did I want to say? Talking really fast here because I don't want to waste time, but I want to look up what ZIE, because now that you know that symbol right there where you got like a bracket, the bracket, and an I in the middle, so it's like the interstate right there, 695. But that's where I was saying, even this new, right, is the 13th letter in Greek. So new is northeast, west, south, or news, or it could be, I think it's for energy too. New meaning. Let's put it this way. New, used to express surprise, agreement, resonate. I think that is American English. That's why. New meaning in, let's go Greek. Oh, they have it in Chinese too. New. Okay. In the 13th letter of the Greek alphabet, representing the voiced alveolar nasal. New. Oh, wow. You can feel it in your nasals. And it has a value of 50. It is derived from the ancient Phoenician language noon. So noon, N-U-N, is in Hebrew. That's the Hebrew word. Its Latin equivalent is N. So it's a frequency. The symbols most often used for frequency are F and Greek letter nu. The letter V and omega W. Nu is used more often when specified electromagnetic waves such as light, X-rays, and gamma rays. It's like our sun throwing out all these X flares. And the sun is on his 25-year cycle, I think. That's interesting. I say that because 25, March 25th, we had that lunar thing. So this is very interesting, right? I hope this is kind of making sense. I'm just kind of, what was coming to my mind, I thought, oh my gosh, what I'm hearing and seeing, I think I just want to just look at it. I want to know what the name of this ship is. What is the ship's name of that hit the bridge? Baltimore. Baltimore just sounds. The Dali. Francis. Let's see if that's Francis. Francis Scott Key. I want to make sure we got the right one. It is the Dolly. That's so interesting. Oh, Dolly. I thought they were talking about Dolly, like in a dolly. Okay, I'm still kind of in shock. He said earlier the U.S. Coast Guard said it had received a report that a motor vessel made impact with the bridge and confirmed it was the Dolly, a container ship sailing under a Singaporean flag that was heading for Sri Lanka. Oh, that is interesting. Dolly, I wonder what this means. I wonder what Dolly means. I could write that down. Dali. And then Singaporean flag heading to Sri Lanka. I'm looking at everything here. I'm looking at the names and seeing how they were, because some things are deep. For example, like Trump, the trumpet, the last trumpet or whatever. Okay. Salvador Dali. Interesting. MV Dali cited for propulsion issues before Baltimore. Propulsion issues. Let's look at this. Salvador Dali was a Spanish surrealist painter exploring subconscious imagery. Oh, this is interesting. Look where I'm just noticing because Salvador Dali was a Spanish surrealist painter and printmaker known for exploring subconscious imagery. Arguably, his most famous painting is The Persistence of Memory, 1931, depicting limp melting watches. Interesting. Oh, there's some melting watches. That is a trip. Look at his thing. That's kind of trippy too. Well, anyway, I'll leave it there. I just wanted to throw that out real fast and do a little chatting and sharing and see where everybody's mindset is on this, because everybody's talking about it. But me, I'd like to talk about the symbolism in it. Like the Star Spangled Banner, right? Representing the flag. And remember at IPEC Goat 2, it shows, the flag is still standing, but it's all ripped up. Well, I think it was back in 1812, that verse that we was talking about in 1812 for the First World War, where they were trying to drop the flag, bomb the flag down. And in the song, The Star Spangled Banner talks about the red bombs or something like that. So to keep our to see how long our flag stands, how we stand up for our freedom. This might be a test of our of two energies. You know, the allegiance of the of course the dark energy, and then you got the allegiance of God. You know, our vow to God. Which God owns. God owns of everything, right? The, of heaven and earth. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses if we forgive those who trespass against us. Did I say of heaven and earth? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. No, I'm not saying it right. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's what I was looking at. So on earth as it is in heaven. So the mirror, what happens up above in heaven and earth, as one. But in this world, we're divided. So it's like you got the Lucifer type of people, down here controlling, and then God's people are up here in the sky, And then if you look at your body, it's in your head, right? Your temple, third temple mind to be heaven, and then your heart is the earth, right? So heaven and earth. So your heart and your brain are connected, right? Okay, guys, have a great day. I know it's getting pretty interesting out there, right?